Welcome back, everyone, to our fifth episode of season 6 of the Truth and Freedom podcast, where awakening begins with asking the question most people are afraid to ask. I'm your host, Dr. Dan Amzalag, and this is not just another podcast. This is a journey into awareness, courage, and truth. Now, there's a quiet struggle that many people carry through their lives, and it goes often unnoticed. It's the constant need to be liked, accepted, and validated by others. On the surface, it may seem harmless, even natural. After all, human beings are social creatures. We are wired for connection. We want to belong. But when the desire for connection turns into dependency on approval, something deeper begins to happen. Slowly, without realizing it, we begin shaping our lives around other people's opinion. We choose our words carefully so we don't offend. We suppress our true thoughts so we don't create conflict. And we say yes when every part of us wants to say no. And over time, the person we present to the world becomes less authentic and more performative. That is why I call the approval trap. The approval trap is subtle. It doesn't feel like a trap at first. In fact, it often feels like success. People compliment you for being agreeable. They describe you as easygoing, polite, accommodating. But inside it, something slowly begins to erode. Because the more we rely on approval from others, the more we disconnect from approval of ourselves. The truth is, approval is addictive. Each compliment, each like, each positive comment triggers a small reward in the brain. It feels good to be accepted. It feels good to be recognized. And there's nothing wrong with appreciating encouragement from others. The problem arises when our sense of worth becomes dependent on it. When our confidence rises and falls based on how others react to us, we unknowingly give away one of the most powerful things we possess, our emotional independence. Now think about how often people change their behavior because they fear disapproval. Someone stays in a career they dislike because their family expects it. Someone remains silent about an important belief because they fear criticism. Someone stays in an unhealthy relationship because they worry about what others might say if they leave. Now, in each of those situations, the invisible judge in the room is not always the other person. It's the voice inside our own mind that has learned to speak validation before taking action. The approval trap convinces us that if everyone else is happy with us, then we must be doing something right. But here's the uncomfortable truth. It is impossible to live authentically while trying to please everyone. Different people have different expectations, different values, and different preferences. Trying to satisfy them all is like trying to chase a horizon. You keep moving, but you never arrive. And the cost of that endless pursuit is often your authenticity. Escaping the approval trap begins with a simple but powerful realization. Not everyone needs to understand you, agree with you, or approve of your choices. Your life is not a performance designed to meet the expectation of every audience. Your life is a journey of discovering who you truly are and having the courage to live in alignment with that truth. Now, that doesn't mean becoming selfish or dismissive of others. It simply means recognizing that your value as a human being is not determined by how many people approve of you. It is determined by how honestly you live. So when you begin to step away from the approval trap, something remarkable happens. You start making decisions based on values instead of validation. You start expressing your thoughts with honesty instead of fear. You begin setting boundaries that protect your peace instead of sacrificing for acceptance. And yes, this shift can feel uncomfortable at first. When you stop constantly seeking approval, some people may not understand the change. They may question your decision. They may even resist your boundaries. But that discomfort is not a sign that you're doing something wrong. Often, it is a sign that you are finally reclaiming your autonomy. Now, one of the most liberating realizations in life is understanding that people will form opinions about you no matter what you do. If you speak up, some will criticize you. If you stay quiet, others will question you. If you follow your dream, some may doubt you. If you play it safe, Others may judge you for not trying. In other words, approval was never guaranteed in the first place. Once you truly accept that, the fear of losing it begins to lose its power. So instead of asking, will people approve of this? You begin asking a much more meaningful question. Is this true to who I am? Now that question becomes your compass. It guides your decision, your relationship, and your goals. And the beautiful irony is that when you stop chasing approval, you often gain something far more valuable. It is genuine respect. People are naturally drawn to authenticity. When someone speaks with sincerity, acts with integrity, and lives according to their values, it creates a quiet strength that others can feel. Authenticity may not earn universal approval, but it earns something deeper: credibility, trust, and self-respect. And self-respect is the foundation of true freedom. Because when you respect yourself, you no longer need constant reassurance from the outside world to feel worthy. You recognize that your voice matters, your choice matters, your life matters. You stop measuring your worth through applause and start measuring it through alignment, an alignment between what you believe, what you say, and how you live. So today, I invite you all to reflect on something important. Where in your life might you be seeking approval at the expense of authenticity? Is there a boundary you've been afraid to set? An opinion you've been hesitant to express? A decision you've been postponing because you're worried about what others might think? Freedom begins the moment you realize that your purpose is not to be universally approved. Your purpose is to live truthfully. And when you have the courage to be fully yourself, even when it risks disapproval, you step out of your approval trap and into something far more powerful. So I'd like to thank you all for joining me today on The Truth and Freedom, and I look forward to continuing this journey of awareness, courage, and freedom with you in our next episode. Until then, my little friend, stay curious, stay awake, and stay free.